So here's going to be the general idea of using this old index block. It's seen some better days and it's made out of aluminum, plus it has got a rough face, so it might as well be trued up and used for a final project at this point. I'll be drafting on my work lines and building it all mainly by hand. No CNC, no numeric control, just all by eyeball, just easy peasy. So the main plan is to use the stock barrel nut to make a shoulder detent to press that into, and then the rest of it will all be fit work as the need, and we'll see how that works out. So all the milling will be done pretty much laterally, which means I won't have to worry about as much the yaw of this vise just yet. Usually clamp it down just like I did, and then don't worry about it after that. Parallels. I'm just going to pass it all off. I jogged that a little bit too bad, obviously. With wide pillaring on the neck, that should be fine. There's the center bore. I gotta get that punched all the way down through. I got most all the way through on this one bit. I just need to keep on drilling through until I collar it off. Then I can flip it over. As mentioned, now that it's centered, there's a little jig spigot down there that holds it vertical and from wobbling at the same time. So I can relocate it to the exact center within reason. I'll check this out. So here's basically what it's going to look like right now. And as mentioned, since it's centered on the jig, fingers crossed, I'll be able to flip it over. And as mentioned, it's a 625 bore that I'm going to be using for the main shot through. I'm not really super worried about getting a high fit on that output. I don't want to make a muzzle brake that blows itself off for being too good, so to speak, in dimensions. I can always make a new one later on. So you can see the backside was a little bit thinner, and then by now it should be cleaned up, hopefully, but like I said, that's why I'm going to go with an oversized hole. It went in like that and touched, so if I flip it over that way, you'll see with the same collinear distance in one avenue. Now that that's all worked out with the through bore, I need to start doing the actual vents. This is about the same size as I've got to work with, so I'm going to set up the chamfer drilling incline rig. I've got to leave everything centered on that, so I actually probably should swap over to drilling. Annoyingly enough, I got to swap this out and then put in my the actual countersink. That was it. So same shank, hopefully. I'll flip this back over to the other side and then do the pillar seat. Now it's going to be set to drill all the way through and land right on that bump stop and be a full shoulder collet depth. So I'm going to pop that out, and then I'm going to go arbor it in there. That way I know it's either going to work or not work. It's just one barrel nut if I waste it, so it's not a huge deal. And I put a green line on there to know exactly where, when threaded in there, it would be it'd be a barrel stop. About right there. And here it is press fitted off of the hydraulic press. I had to upscale from the arbor press to the hydraulic press, but it worked out. Nice flat finish. There's a very slight swaging to the metal. See the difference in the reflection right there. That being said, it's about perfect. There's a seam in the center where the two joints of the drilling jobs met up. Shouldn't be a big deal. It's a 625 hole for a 308 rifle. Everything from here on out should be a matter of following these red lines. And I have a jig set up down here. I added a end plate so that it's going to pivot and then jostle down into center. So it'll pivot and jostle between the bench of the vise, end plate, and then sitting on top of the bump stop. That's about what I worked out for right now. I'll give it a shot for how it goes. That way, hopefully, it'll be as repeatable per side. Once again, I'm doing it the real lazy way today. I'm not trying to get out AutoCAD or do anything super fancy. Pop that bit out and find the other bit. Punch through just perfectly. I broke it off so I can flip it over and do the same drillings operation right here at the same rough angle, more or less. Just got to balance it. To the point where all three contact. So if you can see down that tube, there's a little bit of a shelf in there. I'm not concerned. That's when, as I mentioned, the drilling operations didn't line up. But I've got plenty of overhead for the bores to have clearance. So we get a good drift here. Alright, ready to go again. I'll have to make some modifications. This hole is at slightly the wrong angle. I must have had the jig stuck on something or who knows what. The other two side holes match up, this one doesn't, so it must mean that one's the wrong one. Put that back to the other side and match whatever gauge hole I've got going on. Really thin wall, but that'll be fine for the muzzle brake. I can match this hole and bring it in tighter to that one and then just know that they gotta look similar. So within concern for my project, I back that out, throw that back in there. So there's the new windowed side. And I need to flip that back over to this side, window that as much as I can, down to there. It'll match up and it'll be like I never messed up. I was thinking as well, since I did that, I may run a portal walk on the outside to castellate it a little bit. Make it a little bit lighter. It'll be, you know. You can see down the windows, there's a little bit of overmilling, but it's about the same, so I don't mind. It's really just, you know, for fun, being bored in the machine shop. All goes well, I'll have room for one more set of holes in the front. Maybe it's just a standard single hole. And I can run that new bit as close to the last location as I can. I think that's just about perfect. It leaves me maybe a 250 thousandths rim to work with. I can shade that back. I can open up this one plenum to match the other one a little bit better. I'll do the castle walk after I get this hole squared up. You can see the shells in there, like I mentioned. No. I could clean that out with a Dremel tool later on if I feel like it, but it all passes the finger test right now, so I'm not too concerned. I'll whack those off on the fly cutter as mentioned. Time to do that one bridge walk. And this thing is nearly ready for fitment and test firing. Use. I mean, it really doesn't even be test fired. It can't fail, I don't think. We'll find out. One of the limits right there. I'm not sure if it's worth worrying about. I mean, everything else is so good. I can always take it back off later on and work on it again if I need to. Putts are too bad. It's looking so good. I'm going to see what I can do to take away some of that dented patina. Even if it's just a little bit, that'd be nice. The idea would be to float this dowel set up as a back plate over the face of the jig vise as it gets reset each time, and we'll see how that works out. So within reason, hopefully, this will be the last blind cut, and then I'll be able to see what I'm working on to the ferrule nut, that is. Alright, well, that was definitely a productive set of operations. I was with that weird math, whether if it's worth doing it by hand or by grinder, and that was just a much nicer, much easier way to make that look a little more aesthetic. Have a finger rail. There's still plenty of thickness if I ever needed to add in a sight or anything like that later on. Napkin, paper towel plug to keep it clean. I'm going to give it a deburring file, and it's about ready to go and test fire again. This time I'll bring the camera. Alright, she hits on. Bolts out, or sorry, mags out, bolts dropped. Magazines out, bolts dropped. Shooting high now. This just raised the point of aim by 6 inches. Or sorry, it raised the point of target by 6 inches. Yeah. Well, that's my without measurements being bored in the machine shop yesterday and cleaned up this morning. Muzzle brake and recoil suppressor. It's definitely much more comfortable to shoot than it used to be, so I'd call that a win. Thank you. By the way, t-shirts are on my Etsy page. The link is through my channel name, and then on my channel there is a little Etsy URL hot link. Thank you.